Hello everyone, this video will provide an overview of the Module 3 assignments and a recap of what happened in Year 6 in Globus. First is, of course, participation, team meeting with the instructor. Every team must meet with me this week by Sunday. This will give you an opportunity to ask any questions that you may have about the course or Globus or the assignments. Also, this will ensure, for me, that the team is communicating since we will all be together. Next is Chapter 3 Smartbook assignment. Next is the Chapter 3 quiz. Next we have the Case 1 Fixture Upper. If you go ahead and click on the link to access the Case 1 assignment, I've broken down into two different parts. Obviously, Step 1 is to read a case. And then Step 2, you're going to be answering some questions. There are 6 sections within the case study. Each section of questions are worth approximately 16 points. They can be multiple choice or true or false. Total possible points is 100, and you'll be given 2 attempts to complete the assignment. Next, we have the Global Simulation Module 3 report. Now, I know you completed the Mod 2 report last week. Keep in mind, I expect a tremendous amount of effort within these reports. They should not be in Q&A format, meaning that you should not just type up the question and provide an answer. It should be in a report format, paragraph format. It should have a nice cover page, maybe some charts, some graphs, some tables. The report itself should look professional, and if it does not, you obviously will be deducted points. And lastly, you're going to be completing your Global Simulation Year 7 decisions. So now let's go ahead and jump into Year 6 and see how that went. Here we have the Year 6 scoreboard results. As you can see, Team C, they're at 105, great job. Team A at 95, Team B at 88, Team D at 42. I don't know what to tell you. Beyond, you better really start picking up the pace because you will get buried quick. So can you turn that around for Year 7? Absolutely. This is just 1 year, but you need to make moves right away. Your team has really no excuse. You have 4 people. Some teams have 2 people. So make sure you really take that to heart and hold everyone accountable to understand the simulation and a winning strategy for the simulation. With that said, Team C over 100, that's great. That's an amazing start. Team A, anywhere in the 90s is perfect coming out of the gate. And B at 88, you're so close to 90s, and no worries there. So really the only concern was Team D. The biggest mistake that students make with the simulation is they don't analyze all the data, and that's the goal of the simulation, is make sure you are taking into account all information to make an informed decision. So on the left-hand side, you see page 1, which is scoreboard. Page 2 is earning per share, return on equity, stock price. Page 3, credit rating, image rating, so on and so forth. So you should be going through these different pages. So let's jump into page 2, earnings per share, return on equity, and stock price. So with earnings per share, you can see Team C is highlighted and they're bolded. It means they're best in industry and they're meeting expectations. So the bold is meeting expectations, highlight is best in industry. So at 154 earnings per share, great job. No one else currently is meeting expectations. Return on equity. Now you have Team A, B, and C meeting expectations, but Team C, of course, then again is still best in industry. They're at 23.8. And Team D, they're at 5.6, so terrible. Stock price. Team A and C are meeting expectations. Team C obviously is best in industry at 42.94. But, Team A is, doing great. They're at 27.88. It's Team D at 5.58. So then again, this is the kind of information you need to really analyze and to help you determine what you need to change to be better. Next, if we go to page 3, we have credit rating. So A, B, and C are all A-. Team D is C+. Now, this is one area I would tell you don't worry too much about. This is probably the biggest hint I would give you within the simulation. Most teams finish out with a B or better by the end of the semester. So even D at C+, I don't even worry about you, D. I think you probably will get up to somewhere B something. So I'm not too concerned about what the credit rating for anyone. Image rating. Here we go. Team A is best in industry. That's 75. Everyone else did meet expectations. So this is where you have to tell yourself, do I always have to meet expectations in each category? Well, it depends. It depends on your competition. So here's where Team A is leading at 75 and best in industry, where Team C was best in industry with all the other categories. Another area where you absolutely should be checking into is the different reports under the competitive intelligence reports. So the first one, and the only one I'll jump through with you real quickly, is competitive efforts. So keep in mind, there's more than just North America. You have North America, Europe, Africa, Asia, Pacific, Latin America. You have 4 different regions that you're making decisions within. Okay. Just for my quick example, we're going to stick with North America. This is the results for year 6. And let's take a glance at it. Let's see why maybe Company D did so poorly. Okay. Well, it should stand out very quickly. If you see the price for the cameras for A, 222, B, 220, C, 225, D, 400. Okay. So about 75%, give or take, increase compared to everyone else. Now, let's see if they justify that increase. Okay. PQ rating on A at 222 is 4. B at 220 is 4. C at 225 is 4. D at 400 is 4.2. Do I think a 0.2 increase in PQ rating is worth upwards of another $175, $180? No, of course not. It looks like the number of models, you have 3 for A, 1 for B, 3 for C, 3 for D. So very competitive. So that wouldn't justify a D to have a $400 price range. And so on and so forth. This is where you want to go through and analyze the data. Okay. So now with that said, I'm somewhat picking on D, but not too bad because D can easily shift here. And I'm not telling D to compete against everyone. I'm not saying, hey, D, just drop your price down to $215. Maybe they don't want to. Maybe they want to stick on the high end. Maybe they want to, I don't want to give them exact price range, but obviously they don't want to be 400. But maybe they don't want to be right with everyone else. Maybe they want to separate themselves between the competition. That's up to each team. So technically, D has a good spot where they could do that if they wanted to. Now, then again, clearly 400 is way too high. That's a no-brainer. Let's take a peek at the drones. So now the drone's a little bit different, where we have Team A, 1100, they're selling it. Team B, 1300. C, 1100. And Team D, 1300. So very close. Now here's where Team D does have 4.8 PQ rating compared to the rest of the teams on roughly around 4. Okay. Now, if you look all the way down, what's highlighted, gained/lost, they got a -6.1. Okay. Clearly, everyone else is positive. So they're losing on every sale. So this is where they have to determine why. Why are they losing? They do have a great PQ rating. The 1300 is not as bad, since the Team B is selling for 1300 as well. So they have to figure out why are they losing and not gaining on each one. So these are just quick tips. Like I said, with the teams I already met with, I'm not going to give away the answers to the simulation. That would be pointless. But it seems like every team has at least a decent hold on what to do. And I believe Team D, after year 6 and this year 7, I wouldn't be surprised if D team's results for year 7 come in about 70 or 80 compared to the 40s that they are right now, which would be a great sign that they understand and that they learn from their mistakes, and they can be right there within competition. So everyone, keep up the great work. I know it's summer. I know it's an accelerated course, and definitely feel free to reach out to me if there are any concerns. And have a great week.